Without an operationalized nurture campaign, you will never, ever get enough marketing conversion. Hey everybody, this is Ray Stendel, publisher of Customer Engagement Magazine and the author of the Customer Engagement Manifesto. Hey, thanks so much for being part of this video series with me. I hope you're enjoying the special report that you downloaded a few days ago and are watching these videos and most importantly, really taking some action. So in this video, I want to talk to you a little bit about marketing conversion. You see, marketing conversion is all about moving somebody who has no idea that you exist or a foggy idea of what you do all the way to the point that they are willing to entertain a conversation with you and enter into the sales process to be able to purchase a solution from you to solve their needs. Now, what that means is that you want to get them into conversation with you where you have already been able to tell your story and qualify them to a certain extent because they already know who you are, what you do, what you're about. They already are comfortable with how you do business to a certain degree. Now, it's important to realize that there are certain reasons why someone will not buy from you. One of the reasons why somebody will not buy from you is that they don't want what it is that you have. And if they don't want it, there's not really a whole lot you can do other than being able to do your best to showcase what it is that you do, how it solves a set of problems in the marketplace that they may or may not have. Now, if they don't have those needs, then they're not right for you, then that's just totally cool. That's fine. The next reason why somebody will not buy from you is they don't need it. It's perceived as something that is nice to have, but is not something that they need right now. The next thing that you need to consider is that just because they don't need it now, that doesn't mean they won't need it in the future. That's why it's so important to maintain a relationship and add value and be present. The next reason why somebody won't do business with your company is they don't trust your company. Think about that. If they don't trust your company, they're not going to do business with you. So part of your process must be to showcase and demonstrate trust with your company. The other reason they don't buy is they don't trust you. They may trust your company, but they don't trust you. And finally, they don't trust the product offering. So let me give you an example of how this can really work in reality. Let's suppose that you are in the business of selling cars and selling transportation solutions. Notice I said transportation solutions. Smart dealerships take a bigger view of the whole idea of transportation. They don't just sell a car. But anyway, let's get back on track here. If you don't want a new car and a dealer does their best to explain to you the benefits of having a new car that solves a certain set of problems, and maybe it's more efficient on gas, maybe it's going to save you less time, money, and energy in fixing your car, etc. But that still doesn't get you to want it. Well, there's not much you can do. Maybe one day your car will be so bad in need of repairs and you'll want a car, and then you will think about who you think is somebody you want to do business with. Where you don't need a car. You have a car. The car works great and you don't want a payment and you're just happy with what you have. You don't really need one right now. So fine, you don't go forward. Now look at this. Let's suppose that you're left with the three other reasons why you're not going to purchase. You don't trust the company, they don't trust the person, or you don't trust the product. So let's suppose that you're dealing with a car manufacturer. Let's suppose we're dealing with, pick your least favorite car manufacturer. You got one in your mind? It's a company that you really just don't trust that very much? Okay, well if you don't trust that company, even though they might have a great sales rep and they might have a pretty good product, you just don't trust that company. Are you going to buy? Nope. What happens if you trust the company, but when you get there, you have a sales rep that is really pushy and just like trying to get you to buy on the spot? Are you going to buy? No. What happens if you have a great company, a great sales rep, but that product has got terrible Consumer Reports ratings? Are you going to buy? No, you're not. You know, many times people think that price is a big factor for why people don't buy. And I'm not going to say it isn't. Sometimes it is, but it's more because you're selling price and not on value. When you sell on value and the value that you provide exceeds the price for the quality level that the customer is interested in purchasing at, provided the other factors I've just talked about make sense, they're going to purchase. So I want you to kind of keep these reasons in mind, because part of what you need to do in a nurture campaign is sell yourself, sell your company, sell the solution you provide to an audience that needs and wants what you have and is qualified to make a purchase. That last section might be worth replaying again, because that is really a big part of what nurture campaigns are all about. Nurture, as the name implies, is nurturing your prospect, helping them understand a little bit more about how you can help them. It's the same way that you nurture a plant. You provide water and sunlight and fertilizer, and a little seed grows into a big tree, right? Same kind of idea. So here's the call to action I want you to keep in mind here is, how are you architecting value in your marketing campaigns? How are you leaving your prospect in a better position than the way you found them? Very, very important. If you are not adding value in the marketing campaign as it stands on its own, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time in the customer engagement economy. Trust me, hear my message. A marketing campaign is not just putting out a marketing message, an advertiser somewhere. It's adding value. Please write that down. Adding value. So I want you to think about how you can do this with your audience. And now, let's just suppose that somebody comes to your website or is watching your video and they leave because it's not a real fit. They're like, you know what? This guy or gal is providing a solution that doesn't really fit with what I need. And they unsubscribe from your list, or they don't watch your video. You know, that's okay. You can't help everybody. And by them self-selecting themselves out of your process, it's great, because now you can focus on the people who are a good fit. So don't get discouraged if people opt out of your list. Don't worry about it. It happens to everybody. Your job must be about targeting people so well that you reduce your opt-out rates, because you are targeting the right people who care about what it is you talk about. Number two, if they don't respond, you might get frustrated. Like, hey, I'm putting out all this great content. I'm really investing in my audience and helping them make qualified decisions, but they're not responding. Well, you have to realize the great majority of people won't respond. That's just a fact of life. But not responding doesn't mean they will never become customers, just not now. Maybe the timing is not right. But everything else being equal, they will become your customer in the future, because you will have built a relationship with them. Now, they can leave, they cannot respond, or they can engage. And if they engage, this is really where everything comes together. Because they're engaging with you because what you're sharing with them is resonating. That's another keyword you might want to write down. So your job is to understand the buying process and model your sales process to your customer's buying process, and give them the tools and the information and the encouragement and the inspiration, yes, and the motivation throughout the process. And you might say to yourself, yes, Ray, but I'm not some type of professional speaker. I'm not in the role of having to push and motivate. Yes, you are. In sales, we are all in sales, number one. Number two, we all need to motivate, instruct, and inspire our audience, our prospects. Don't give up on that idea, all right? There isn't a department in your company that's responsible for this. We are all responsible for this. And ultimately, your goal really should be to leave them in a better position than you found them. Because if they're not necessarily the right fit for you now, they might also just recommend somebody else who is the right fit for you. So these are the key ideas I wanted to share with you as it relates to a nurture campaign. You need to think about, and I'm going to give you one more key tip here. You need to think about the pathway from where they are to where they need to get to, what that transformation is. Map out the steps to get there. So let's suppose you're in the real estate business and you sell commercial buildings. You have to go from somebody who, let's say, never bought a commercial building before, all the way to signing the purchasing agreement. Well, what are the steps to go through, and how can you provide focused content along the way to ease their stress? The more you can reduce their stress, the more you can increase their engagement, the more you can connect with your audience. That's what you're trying to do. And as you do that, you're going to create content that is logical and sequential in nature, that helps them go down this avenue with you. So that's what nurture campaigns are all about. If you don't have any of these campaigns in place, I can guarantee you, you're leaving buckets and buckets of money on the table, quite literally. So now's the time for you to think about how you can do it. And I can't tell you how many companies I come across that do not have well thought out nurture campaigns that add value. So this is Ray Stendel. I hope you enjoyed this video and this report that we provide. We're working very hard for you to give you a lot of value through this process. I hope you see that, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video where we go a little bit further in the process of how to acquire and retain customers in a profitable manner. Thanks so much.